Hold on. All right, finally done muted. All right. Well, we've all decided that this is confirmed, and so we're just like. So anyway. Oh, right. Okay, so anyway, well, good night, everybody. Anyway, I'm kidding. We're actually going to talk about it a little bit. All right, let me bring on my co-conspirators here. We'll start.
If it's no Scottish, it's crap.
Hello, everybody. Right, see you later.
Yep.
How's it going?
It's going.
Yeah,
it's going.
the stream's over. It's great, isn't it?
yeah, it's pretty much it's a little anticlimactic at this point.
Yeah,
might as well bring the other guys on.
Why the hell not?
We'll start. Why not? We'll start with this guy.
Nobody worries about upsetting a droid.
It's because a droid don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Wookiees are known to do that.
Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. Well, I'd like to say thank you for having me. Is that what you're telling me? Good night, everybody.
Well, I'm going to the pub. Bye.
Let's get pissed. Woo!
There's definitely no middle on this one.
You just should put it as confirmed. No
That
debunks,
seems
no
big.
middle.
Yeah,
No undecided.
It's just, I like Frost Comics in the chat. He says, "Is the FBI evil? Yes or yes?"
Yes.
Yes.
I wonder. Let me think about
You
this.
just need to put like 4 categories.
Hey.
Confirm, all of the above.
Oh no.
Confirm times infinity.
Lon Horiuchi. Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget, everybody,
Boo.
both Bunny and I on our YouTube channels have polls, so please vote in the poll.
Vote confirmed.
I'm serious. We're pretty much it's pretty much house money at this point. Anyway.
Hey.
Bet on black.
All right.
Anyway,
here we go.
All right. So let's go through the
the motions.
usual, the motions here. Why
not?
All right. So this is considering an incident that happened on August 21st, 1992, and concerning a man named Randy Weaver and his family in northern Idaho. And before it was over with, there was his son was dead, his wife, and the family dog, and he had bullets in him, and his friend had bullets in him, and he had 3 traumatized little daughters, and the FBI and the U.S. Marshal Services had some explaining to do. So
I heard that the dog had detected the marshals or something like that, and that's why they killed it. So
yeah.
That's what
sparked
it all.
They claimed the dog charged him, but the dog didn't. The dog just barked and looked at their direction, and they took him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to give away their position.
Yeah. We'll get to the dog. We'll get there. How did you get your service badge? I shot an unarmed mother who was holding her infant child. Pretty badass, right? Yeah, they rewarded him by taking him to Waco with them next year.
Brian!
Hey! All right, Brian, how's it going?
Brian! How are you, sir? Welcome.
All right. Yep. Well, so okay. Let me give a little background on Mr. Weaver. He let me see here. He was a former officer. I mean, he's a former he's an Iowa factory worker, U.S. Army soldier. Moved with his wife, 4 children, to northern Idaho during 1980s so they could homeschool his children and escape what he and his wife, Vicky, saw as a corrupted world. I guess that kind of got bore out, huh? You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so maybe they were right. Anyway, after the birth of the son Samuel, they began selling their belongings, visited the Amish to learn how to live without electricity, bought 20 acres of land. Now, this is wrong. This is, unfortunately, it seems like the only source you can get to pull up is Wikipedia, and they're full of shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty much.
Ruby Ridge was Ruby Ridge was the next ridge over, but the press liked it better, so that's why they called it Ruby Ridge. But it was actually Caribou Ridge, which is the hillside that they were on, according to Randy Weaver. So I take his word. But there was a $3,000 land deal dispute with Terry Kennison, his neighbor, and he lost the ensuing lawsuit. Had to pay $2,100 in court costs and damages. And so he fingered his neighbor to the FBI and the Secret Service, saying he had threatened to kill Pope John Paul II, President Ronald Reagan, and the Idaho Governor John V. Evans. So he was a bitch, little snitchy bitch. So he lost the court case, got a little butt hurt, and decided that he was going to point out his neighbor to some of the most aggressive law enforcement agencies on the planet.
Right.
Yeah.
FBI and Secret Service. So yeah, 20 acres. I'm jealous. Yeah. Well, in Idaho, 20 acres is a small patch. So.
Yeah. And apparently, when this 20 acres was happening on the peak of the mountain, it was all rock.
Yeah,
there you go.
Mountainous. Yeah,
that's right.
Trees.
So it was 80. That was 84 and 85. They launched an investigation against Randy Weaver, and the Secret Service has been told that he was part of the Aryan Nations. Okay,
right,
and which was listed as a terrorist organization. So. They also said that he had a large weapons cache at his residence. He denied his allegations, and the government filed no charges, but he was on the radar now. And everything that happens after happened because he was on the radar. My backyard is an acre, and it's all rock. Yeah, he's in Tennessee. Yeah. Tennessee is a pretty rocky place. Rocky Top.
Yep.
What they have a song called Rocky Top that tells you everything you need to know. So anyway, so on 3 or 4 occasions, they attended Aryan Nations meetings at Hayden Lake, where there was a compound for government resistors and white supremacist separatists. But at the same time, he was on a few occasions, it's like 4 occasions that they visited there. And 4 visits does not a membership make.
No.
Okay.
No.
If you're a membership of something, if you're like really dedicated to the cause, you're there every time they meet.
Yeah.
And but anyway, so they were pretty much that they were kind of like rolled into that, and the Aryans happened to be collecting weapons because they saw the law enforcement getting really aggressive, and they thought that they'd have to defend themselves. And maybe they had a point. Maybe they had a point.
Maybe.
Anyway, so the mother, Randy Weaver's wife, I say, what was her name? Vicky. Mad about the harassment, sent threatening letters to. She sent them to President Reagan. And basically saying, that she was mad that they were after them, and they were going to fight back if they came after them. So maybe not the best thing to do, maybe not.
No, especially the president.
But that also got the especially the president, right?
Yeah.
So if you're trying to defend yourself against claims that you're a terrorist and wanting to kill the president, maybe don't send him threatening letters. But she evidently was pretty feisty.
Clearly.
And so it seems like a lot of foreshadowing already, right? There's a lot of foreshadowing already.
Maybe.
And so
it's just because they wanted to be left the hell alone. That's the whole point of living off grid.
Yeah.
Just to be left alone.
Right.
Well, they thought they were very spiritual people, and they thought these things were happening because they lived in Iowa before, and you had the farm crisis stuff in the middle of the 80s and stuff like that, and they saw this as the end times, the beginning of the end times, and they wanted to go off and be by themselves to kind of ride it out. I guess.
Yeah, fend for themselves, provide for themselves, self-reliance, basically.
Right.
But you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to.
You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to.
Government has to know. The government has to know what you're doing and what you're spending your money on.
Only the government can take care of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so if you pull yourself away from the government and say you want to be left alone, then immediately the government's like, okay, I guess we got to mess with you now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
That's just the way it is.
Thanks to big government. Yep.
Yeah. Very vindictive, isn't it? Very vindictive, yeah.
There you go. So in July of 1986, another organization got involved who is even scarier than the FBI and Secret Service.
ATF.
The ATF. Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. So there you go.
Oh, boy.
Please leave us alone. How dare you?
All brought to you by your friends at the ATF.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
How dare you want to be alone?
I guess it's kind of like the government. I guess the government's kind of like like an ex-girlfriend, right? It's like, okay, I'm just not that into you.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm just not that into you, and then they're like, okay, I'm very into you now, because you're playing hard to get. And so
nobody leaves me. Nobody ever leaves me.
You think
I will destroy you.
Yeah, I'm not going to be ignored.
Yeah, right. Dead rabbits everywhere.
There you go. Yeah. So the government started bowling bunny rabbits. There you go. Anyway, so it's like, are you mental?
Who the hell is undecided in this motherfucker?
I know.
Who the hell am I fucking? Oh my god.
Okay, all right.
My god, I'm like,
well,
you gotta be undecided.
If Time Prophet comes in,
the
Time
Prophet
going to be like,
somebody's already clicked on undecided.
Was right
on my poll. Are you kidding me?
It's B-Dog.
It's B-Dog. Yeah. He's not in the chat yet either.
Yeah, I doubt it's B-Dog. B-Dog is, he's from there.
Oh, he'll be confirmed. He'll be clicking that button quick.
If there was two confirmed, he hit both.
So,
yes.
So
that's what I should have just done. All four were confirmed.
Yeah. And then another one, all of the above.
Yeah, all of the above.
Right. So anyway, the ATF is trying to infiltrate the Aryans. Anyway, at one. All right, at one hundo over here in the Bunny Burrow Wookiee band who voted undecided. Band who voted undecided.
I don't know who it was. It doesn't tell me who voted. It just tells me that there was a
I suppose it
yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's my only chat guy, and I know he's confirmed, so I'm not sweating it. Anyway, so basically, the ATF informant was trying to get into the Aryan nations, and so Randy is being on the outskirts of it as being his way in, because Randy was known to be providing weaponry, and so they basically got invited to this meeting by a weapons dealer working with the motorcycle gangs, and he invited the informant to his home to discuss forming a group to fight the Zionist organized government, referring to the U.S. government. But this is interesting here. The ATF claimed that Weaver sold the informant 2 sawed-off shotguns with the overall length of the guns shorter than the limit set by law. But he accused the informant of being a spy for the police, and later wrote he had been warned by Rico V., the informant's handler, and they ordered him to have no further contact with Weaver. But what came out later was that the informant was the one. Okay, Brian, I got you. It came out later that the informant was the one that sawed off the shotguns.
Okay. Right.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it came out after, like a couple of years later, after all the bullshit and death and everything.
Yeah.
So basically, the informant had committed a crime and then had sold it to Weaver, which is entrapment.
I see.
So
I see.
Well, it's like I was telling Abby earlier. The rules are you can basically make it possible for somebody to commit a crime, but they have to commit the crime on their own. But you are not to participate in the crime or participate in the.
No.
It's got to be free will. Otherwise, it's called entrapment.
Right.
And that's the rules that they're very distinctive rules and very like big guidelines. I mean, cases basically live or die on these guidelines. Okay. And
they don't play by the fucking
especially
rules.
Undercover.
They don't play by the freaking rules. They twist the shit out of it like a
Excuse me.
Rules? What rules?
Since when do they care about rules? Excuse me.
Yes.
Well, that barrel a half-inch too short, sir. Well, got to put down your son.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we can pretty much write Frost down for confirmed.
Yeah. Well, here's the funny thing. When you go back to you go back to the situation with Weaver and the shotgun and cutting the barrel down and the snitch and all that other shit. So he received this. The whole point of the U.S. Marshals, ATF, FBI, all those guys showing up at his place at 92 was because he was supposed to be in court on the firearms charges. Now, he received a letter with a specific date, time, place, the whole 9 yards, official court document.
I'm getting there. You're jumping way ahead. You're jumping way
damn
ahead.
It.
Okay. Way ahead. Okay. We're not there yet. All right.
Damn it.
Confirmed.
Stop jumping the gun, man.
Jumping the gun. I'm sorry. It's a half inch too short.
Okay.
I was able to clear it.
All right.
I jumped it.
Okay. All right. So what happened was in 1990, this informant went to and got a grand jury.
Snitch.
That they indicted Weaver. All right, so they indicted Weaver for making and possessing, but not for selling illegal weapons. In other words, he never sold the weapons. He just they accused him of sawing off this shotgun, but it was the guy that he bought it from that saw him off.
arms. Brian.
There you go. Anyway.
I figured out. I know why this operation was such a clusterfuck.
Yeah, stop acting like the FBI joking again. Yeah. Go ahead.
I know why it was such a clusterfuck.
Okay.
The FBI is full of parkours.
Okay. Yep. Pretty much. Definitely parkour like. All right. Anyway.
Why didn't we see this sooner?
All right.
Well, they lay low.
Okay.
They lay low.
All right.
I guess so.
Okay. So
Deep undercover.
So why they were afraid that he was too dangerous to arrest on his property? They posed as broken down murderers, and when Weaver and Vicky stopped to assist, horrible people that they are, horrible monsters that they are, they stopped to assist these motorists, and they were arrested.
Right.
And they basically were told of the charges and released on bail, and that the trial will be February 19th, 1991. But on January 22nd, the judge in the case appointed attorney Everett Hoffmeister as his legal representation. In other words, it was one of those court appointed. And so when the same day, Weaver called a probation officer, told him he had been instructed to contact him on that date. But Richards didn't have the case file, so he asked Weaver to leave his contact information. But Weaver did not give him a telephone number. He basically said, "Send me a letter in my safe deposit box," because he didn't have a phone. And so, Hoffmeister sent him Weaver letters on the 19th, the 31st, and the 5th, asking him to contact him to work on his defense. Okay. But according to Weaver, he never got these letters.
Okay.
So, like I said, it's Wikipedia, and so Wikipedia is, slanted all the way, always slanted government. Anyway.
Good stuff.
All right. Hey, this is good stuff. Mark for a transaction. All right. Today I'm not entirely parkour doesn't bother me today. Parkour does not bother me today. Because we're dealing with some parkours, man.
I love you.
We are dealing with some parkours today, man. Anyway, so okay. So they changed the date, but the notice was not sent directly to Weaver, only to Hoffmeister. And Richard sent Weaver a letter indicating he had a case file and needed to talk with Weaver. But this letter erroneously said that Weaver's trial date was March the 20th.
Yes.
Okay. February 8th, Hoffmeister began to attempt to contact Weaver by letter, informing the trial was to begin on February the 20th. That Weaver needed to contact him immediately. So, anyway, Weaver did not appear in court on February the 20th because he thought the date was on March the 20th. Okay?
Yeah.
So, because there's the Judge Harold Lyman Ryan, nice name, sent a bench warrant for failure to appear in court. And basically, because he didn't, they said there's a probation violation, and they contacted the U.S. Marshal Service. But let me see, because Rickens sent him the incorrect date. Upon finding a copy of the letter, the chief probation officer, Terrence Hummel, contacted Ryan's clerk. The judge informed him of an incorrect date on the letter. And Hummel also contacted the U.S. Marshal Service, Weaver's attorney, informing them both of the error. Judge Ryan, however, refused to withdraw the bench warrant.
Okay.
Let that sink in.
Corrupt asshole.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
so the probation guy says mea culpa. The court-appointed attorney says mea culpa. Both of them say we sent him the wrong date. That the reason he didn't appear was because of the wrong date. But this judge, this asshole, says Well, I don't care. I don't care that he got the wrong date. I'm not going to withdraw my bench warrant, and so we're going to send a bunch of U.S. Marshals up to that mountain to get him.
Right.
This is one of the reasons why later, things went the way they did. I'm not going to jump the gun like Wookiee did and tell you what happened, but
he's
whatever, Bunny.
He's so excited though.
He's so excited. He's so excited. Anyway, but they decided to put off executing the warrant until after March the 20th to see whether Weaver would show up in court that day. So in other words, another entrapment, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the Department of Justice claimed that all indications are that the warrant would have been dropped, but instead the U.S. Attorney's Office called a grand jury, and they did not inform the grand jury of the letter with the wrong date on it. The grand jury issued an indictment for failure to appear. So it got kicked up, and the U.S. Attorney's Office was the ones that the DOJ basically claimed that the warrant would have been dropped, except that the Attorney's Office basically didn't inform the grand jury that the date was wrong, but they handled a grand jury and they issued an indictment for failure to appear.
Conveniently leaving out the information that was substantive.
Yeah.
Bastards. Fucking corrupt judges.
All right, now, Brian. I'm sorry, man.
And this was all under the Bush administration. Bush 1.
Bush 1.
Bush 1, which
not gonna raise your taxes, bastard.
Yeah, but he's a CIA chief at one point.
Yes, he was.
All right.
Right.
Okay, so the Marshal Service was supposed to arrest and bring in Weaver, now considered a fugitive. Unbeknownst to him, he's up on his mountain not knowing this is going on. But they said because he had so much weaponry up there that they said he was resisting any attempt and said he would respond by force. Now
so it's funny they classify the weaponry. They had hunting rifles and shotguns. That's weaponry.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And on that case, basically, they staked him out for 4 days.
Yeah.
They watched them for 4 days.
Hey, Abby, didn't you know
basically,
that
we got videos of him.
Didn't you know that you could take out a whole platoon with just a shotgun and a hunting rifle?
Well, I heard you can drop
Major threat. Major.
There you go.
And because of that surveillance, they changed the rules of engagement.
Mm-hmm.
After the fact.
Right.
After the fact.
After the fact.
Okay. All right. We'll get there. That's a little later. All right. But anyway, so they tried to negotiate.
You can tell we're pretty excited now, aren't we, Bunny? Huh?
I know.
We're a little excited.
Oh, okay.
Come on. Hey.
All right.
Shotgun
so
from
anyway, so they broke off negotiations, and they're up there, and they don't know they're already surrounded. They don't know they're been under surveillance.
Yeah, they don't know anything.
No, they're up there. They're pretty much on their own, right? And they don't know that the whole government's basically coming down on them. And according to a 1995 report by subcommittee of the Senate Judiciary Committee, that they were worried that the marshals' facts were not lining up.
Right.
It's all if it's shotgun from Doom, Barab. Yeah, right.
Super shotgun. Yeah.
The super shotgun. There you go. Anyway, so basically, Weaver is basically like, I'm going to defend my property. You come up here looking for trouble, then you're going to find it. Which is pretty much what anybody would do. But they said that the assumption is some state's local law enforcement that Weaver that he was a Green Beret, that he would shoot on sight anyone attempted to arrest him, and he collected certain types of arms. He had booby trapped and tunneled his property, exaggerating the threat he posed. They had this guy build up to be like the second coming of the Viet Cong. I mean, they had like tunnels everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, they were so hopped up about this guy. When they went up there, they were armed to the teeth and ready to shoot anything that moved. And unfortunately,
well, he was a Green Beret. He did not see active duty though. He didn't go to Vietnam. He got out, But
right,
and that's why the other gentleman showed up to negotiate.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the thing about it is there was a flyover by a hired helicopter for Geraldo Rivera's, now it can be told, television show, and they said he got shot at. But Weaver's said they didn't fire on the helicopter, but they took that to mean that they were like very, very aggressive. The media reports that they fired on Rivera's helicopter, and it later became part of the justification cited by U.S. Marshal Wynn Duke Smith and the FBI HRT commander in drawing up the Ruby Ridge's rules of engagement.
Yep.
Now, okay. Now, this is after the first encounter when 6 marshals were sent to scout the area. And at one point, one of them threw 2 rocks at the Weaver cabin to test the dog that they had up there named Striker. And he threw 2 rocks to test the dog's reaction. And the dog started following him around. Okay. Doing his job.
Right.
Being a dog. And so Weaver's friend Kevin Harris and Weaver's 14-year-old son Samuel emerged and followed Stryker. So they instigated contact with the dog. The dog did what dogs do, and they came out to see what's going on with their dog. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the younger Weaver said that he hoped that the dog would notice some game animal as the cabin was out of meat. So they just thought the dog was chasing something that they could shoot. Okay. Now the recon team, backed off, but the dog followed them out, and so these geniuses decided that the only way they could silence the dog who was barking at them was to shoot the dog.
Yeah.
Yep. That would do it.
Because that's always good.
So, okay, so the dog, firing a shot in that was going to be better than a dog barking at them. And so, right. And so it said that Randy had encountered the marshals at the Y. Randy Harris had claimed to yell, "Back off, U.S. Marshal," upon sighting Weaver. And Cooper said he shouted, "Stop, U.S. Marshal." And by their account, Samuel and Stryker came out of the woods about a minute later. The marshal's position was revealed by the dog. And so Roderick shot the dog dead. And seeing this, Samuel Weaver reportedly said to the marshals, "You killed my dog, you son of a bitch."
Right.
He's 14 years old. And they just murdered his dog in front of him.
Yep.
Right.
I believe he did say that, yeah.
Yeah,
a little pissed off.
A little bit.
And so
Justifiably.
he fired a shot in their direction.
Right.
Yep. And then basically now what happened is there's a disparity here. But according to Harris, somebody returned fire and shot Sam. Okay.
In the back.
Shot Samuel. But it wasn't fatal. Well, yeah, but they shot Samuel. And so he returns fire at the guy who shot Samuel. Right. And evidently he's a better shot because he killed the guy. He shot him center mass. And it killed... so it killed William Francis Bill Deegan Jr. And it killed him. And then Samuel Weaver was retreating up the hill, was then shot in the back and killed by Cooper. Okay.
Right.
So let's review. So these guys are scouting the cabin. They throw a rock and get the dog interested in them. And then when the dog chases them, Samuel and Harris come out looking for the dog, thinking that the dog's tracking some meat because they're out of meat. And what do? The dog starts barking at these guys who are trespassing on their property, doing what dog does. And so he shoots the freaking dog in front of the 14-year-old kid. The 14-year-old kid fires at him, or fires at these guys that just killed his dog in front of him. They return fire, and Harris, being shot at, returns fire and kills one of them. And then they shoot a young boy in the back, running away.
Yeah. Yep.
And so they're justifying all of this. Okay. Now, This is where it gets really interesting. Because they retreat, they go down the hill, and they tell all sorts of tales about how they got ambushed, shot up, and they brutally murdered their one of them, and just built it up like it was like the army on that hill.
Yeah.
And so they get the FBI involved, and the ATF. And they all descend upon this hill like the wrath of God. Okay.
And
they bring
police got involved.
And once they get there, that's where they change the rules of engagement.
Right. Which is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
we lost Cruel.
Where'd Cruel go?
Did you get
He'll be back. Did
he get nuked?
He probably something happened to his internet.
Right. Okay. And just so you guys know,
yes, absolutely.
Later on,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, just so you guys know, later on, a trial was held, and Harris was acquitted of killing Deacon.
Right.
So they asserted it was self-defense, and he was acquitted. Okay. So
yeah.
no matter what the official recount was, evidently a trial of his peers determined that it was self-defense. And so Cooper, like, I hate to share a name with this guy, but he just he gunned down a kid in cold blood. Okay, they initiated the contact, and he killed his dog in front of him, and he did what I would have done if somebody killed my dog, and I had a gun handy.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
He's 14 years old. Okay, when you're 14 years old, you're a hormonal mess anyway, and you're just one big testosterone-driven wreck.
Yep.
And they just murdered his dog in front of him, and so he fires. Okay, and next thing you know, they're returning fire, and Harris is a good shot, and he pops one right in the chest. And what do? They run away. And while they're running away, one of those marshals takes aim and murders a 14-year-old boy. And we're not even at the worst part yet.
No. Far from it.
Far.
Okay.
Yeah, a long way far.
And so the wrath of God descends upon this hillside here. And they come up with this rules of engagement for their snipers. Okay. So they bring snipers in, including one psychopath named Lon Horiachi. Anyway, but their rules of engagement are this. Now listen to this. If any adult in the area around the cabin is observed with a weapon, after the surrender announcement had been made, deadly force could be and should be used to neutralize the individual. In other words, if they tell them to surrender and they don't, you can use deadly force.
If they have a firearm in their hand.
Yeah.
He's back.
If any adult male is observed
Sorry, my internet.
Welcome
my
back,
internet timed
Mr.
out.
Barab.
Yep.
My internet timed out. Sorry.
There you go. There you
No
go.
problem.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right.
It's about the third time today it's done that. So.
All right. No problem.
You're
We
good.
won't shoot you. We won't shoot you. Anyway.
Oh, thank you. Thank goodness.
If any adult male is observed with a weapon prior to the announcement, deadly force can and should be employed if the shot be taken without endangering any children.
That's a key
All right,
word.
if compromised by any
Yeah.
dog. There you go. All right, now this one was added in. Okay, if compromised by any dog, the dog can be taken out. That a lot of people think that was like to justify a striker getting murdered. Okay. Any subjects other than Randy Weaver, Vicky Weaver, Kevin Harris present threat or death or grievous bodily harm, FBI rules of deadly force imply. In other words, kill. They did it to cover the child getting murdered.
Kill every fucking body is what they would
Yes.
do.
Yeah. So deadly force can be utilized to prevent the
Right.
death or grievous bodily injury. In other words, they indemnified the dog and they indemnified Samuel getting murdered. Okay.
Right.
And so the ROE was modified from adult to adult male to exclude Vicky Weaver around 2:30 or 3 o'clock after the consultation, because Vicky Weaver is not seen at the site of Deacon's slaying. Okay. In other words, they said it was a slaying of Deacon. Okay, that's the phraseology they're using.
Right. Yeah.
Not a gun exchange. Not it was a slaying. Okay. I'm sorry, a slaying is when you walk up to somebody, stick a gun to their head, and blow their brains out in cold blood. That's not what this was.
Yeah.
This is a hostile force attacking, and they were returning fire at a hostile force.
Indeed.
And it's not even known. It's not even known if they knew that there were marshals or if they announced that there were marshals. They said they did.
No, they never identified themselves as
Harris
law
said
enforcement of any kind. No.
Yeah, Harris
No.
says that they never did, but they said that they did, but Harris said he did. They didn't, and
they're armed on private property. To boot.
Exactly.
Right, and they'd been there for 4 days watching
Right.
these people with cameras.
Right.
And then they got bored and they decided to initiate contact by throwing darts at the dog.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then,
They're looking for a fight.
Yeah,
They
they're
were
looking for
Oh, yeah.
We're looking for it.
Spoiling. Spoiling for a fight.
The only sad thing is that Deacon had a hell of a nice mustache. I hate to see a good mustache go down like that. But anyway. All right. So, okay. Now, so they while they were the yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes, they
I just think they did.
absolutely will and have and will do again.
Okay. So while these marshals were down here on the phone, calling the wrath of God down on this whole mountainside here, just spinning these tall tales of booby traps and tunnels and massive army being up there. This man and his 3 daughters, his son, a dog, and his wife. House and one friend. How scary.
Yeah.
But basically, surprise Pikachu face, right? All right. So the siege began in earnest. There you go. But so the siege began in earnest, and while these marshals were down there, they went and got Samuel's body, and they were afraid that there were probably going to be snipers around, so they, instead of burying his body, they put it in a small back. It was
at the time it was a guest house.
Guest house,
basically
right?
A shed that was modified.
It was a shed, right, and so they were there a couple days, and they were worried about the body being being like messed with by wildlife and stuff.
Right.
And so he and Harris and a daughter, no, it was just him and Harris. They went to just check on the body.
Right.
And so Lon Hariuchi, the psychopath, was watching and saw them go out to the shed, and there's a bolt on the door.
Mm-hmm.
And so so Weaver reached up to shift the bolt, and Psychopath took that to mean that it was an aggressive act and shot him through the shoulder.
Right.
Okay. And so his daughter Sarah, and he also shot Harris, but his daughter, this was a little bit later, but his daughter Sarah came out to help him get back into the house, and she stood between the Psychopath and their dad. I'm sorry, I'm going to call him the Psychopath because that's what he was. And so they start getting him back into the house, and the mother, Vicky, is sitting there holding her baby, and she's holding the door open for them to get in there. And the nutcase decided to lead Harris for the shot, and he shot her right through the head.
Right.
And he also shot Harris. So.
And she was holding the baby. She was holding the baby.
She was holding the baby.
And Sarah was behind her mother and felt stuff splatter on her and didn't realize until it was that it was mother parts and stuff. And
right.
Yeah.
And Randy Weaver had to roll his wife off of the baby because he's afraid that the dead body was going to smother it.
Right.
And so now his son has been murdered. His daughter, his wife has been murdered, and they're still they're in there, and he's been shot, and Harris has been shot, and so they only had one thing to do, and they surrendered.
Well, a couple of days later.
Because he's afraid they're going to murder his daughters.
I heard,
but
I heard that.
Go ahead.
I heard on the thing I watched. She was interviewed, and the feds were unaware that the mother was killed, and they were saying, "Get her to start speaking. Don't you want your kids to see Christmas?" Blah 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 blah. She was lying on the floor dead.
And Randy was pissed they were using her name.
Yeah.
Because they were asking, "Come on, Vicky, bring the kids down. We've got pancakes."
Yeah. That's right. That's what she said. Yeah. And then
Well, the thing about it is the Psychopath went back to his motel room and drew a perfect diorama of somebody getting shot in the head. And so he knew he had shot somebody in the head.
Yeah.
So, but he didn't report that. He just reported the hit on Weaver and Harris. Yeah. And so the asshole knew he shot somebody in the head in the house. And he didn't report it. He drew it though. He drew it. And so meanwhile, by the way, he went on to go to Waco next year.
Yeah, he did.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
There you go.
So the thing too, they didn't swindle right away. It was a couple days later, because the people gathering around the road and stuff like that to the Weaver's house heard about Vicky getting murdered. Yeah, and they lost their shit, and law enforcement was down there trying to, stave them back because they were going to get attacked.
Yeah, The locals were pissed.
I saw footage of that, and they were saying, "You murderers! You murderers!"
Killers! Yep. And then it took this ex-Green Beret named Bo Greitz, who was running for president at the time as an independent, to come up there to talk to Weaver to get him down.
I heard that as well. He's a bit more right-leaning, if I remember.
He went up there completely unarmed, and which way they had Weaver like build up like he's a wounded animal, and he's going to shoot anybody that comes up the hill.
Right.
And this guy came up completely unarmed with his hands up, and was able to talk him down.
Right.
and they were able to get enough. They were able to get medical care to Harris, and who was shot through the side, I believe, and already had a bullet in him. He actually was in the hospital a while, and Weaver was a throwing through his shoulder, so he didn't.
Yeah, the bullet went through his back of the shoulder, through the shed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the one of the things that took them a while to sort out, and the reason why all this came out later, is because they had to sort through all the bullshit reports from the law enforcement, and they had to basically get what Weaver said happened and the law enforcement said happened, and then look at the ballistics. And it turned out that every single time that there was a disparity between what law enforcement said and Weaver said, the ballistics basically supported what Weaver said.
Supported Weaver, yeah.
And one of the most egregious ones is when they said that Samuel was shot in the front because he was shooting at them.
Right.
And they found the bullet, and when they found the bullet in the kid, it was pointed in the other direction, and showing that he got shot in the back.
Maybe they shot the bullet backwards. Come on, the bullet was shot backwards.
Oh yeah, well maybe.
Was it a magic bullet?
Yeah, it must.
Maybe it was. Either way,
magic bullet.
And so when this went to trial, and they were trying to get Harris on murder charges for Deacon, and when it went to trial though. And all these things started coming out that the judge kept the bench warrant on them, and then it went up to state attorney, and then the state attorney lied to the jury, or the grand jury, and didn't bring up the fact that the paperwork had the wrong date on it. So that pretty much invalidated it. At the front of it, invalidated the bench warrant. Then you got the marshals who were up there surveilling them for 4 days, initiated contact, and then they fired first, murdering the dog in front of the kid. The kid didn't know that there were marshals because they never said they were, and he returned fire at somebody who shot his dog. And they took that and then they opened fire, and then Harris was evidently a pretty damn good shot. It killed Deacon with one shot, right through the chest. And then when they were trying to run away, the kid got shot in the back. And so all this came out in the ballistics. Okay. And by the way, this trial happened after Waco. Okay.
Yeah, the trial happened after Waco, but they had
a
big time freaking congressional freaking hearing on the whole thing.
Yeah,
it was not good.
Well, the sniper who murdered Vicky. And went against the rules of engagement. As crazy as the rules of engagement were, he violated the rules of engagement because he was holding a child. Right. He got acquitted and given immunity by the attorney general, who happened at that time to be Bill Barr.
Well, he was a prosecutor.
The attorney general was Janet Reno.
He was attorney general.
Reno's after.
He was attorney general.
Barr was attorney general with Bush. One,
I believe so.
Yeah, so he was the attorney general of Bush one. Yeah, he was the attorney general. He gave the guy immunity.
And he got him off.
Because Ashcroft,
and this is after Waco.
Yep.
Okay, it's Ashcroft. I'm sorry, he was attorney general under Bush, but Ashcroft was attorney general.
Well, yeah, Bill Barr was part of the DOJ. There's no question about that at that time.
Right.
And he was involved with that trial.
Right.
with all that crap.
Well, either way, they gave the guy immunity, and he retired from the FBI in '94 or '96 or something like that. Anyway,
Bastard.
but all right. So what came out later? Both Weaver and Harris were cleared, and Sarah has gone on to write like books on this thing and all this other stuff that happened, and they changed a bunch of parkour biatches, right? But they changed rules of engagement, and they also changed
in the middle of the
procedures and well, I'm just saying that afterwards there's actually federal
when they had the hearing
laws that changed about
congressional
rules of
hearing.
engagement.
Yeah.
Right.
And so what was that?
Parkour.
Wookie, you were saying something. Okay. All right. I guess you were done with that. All right. Okay. We were seeing a TV movie about Ruby Ridge. Yep.
I've not seen it.
Anything you saw was probably a Hollywood lens and probably had the monsters or whatever. But, I actually saw a Waco. Actually saw a Waco movie a couple years ago. That made Janet Reno as being sympathetic towards the Waco people. And I was like, bullshit. Anyway.
No, fuck no.
The Clintons weren't even mentioned in the stupid thing. Anyway, it is what it is. So, okay, are we going to vote?
Well, I suppose we could.
All right.
Let's do it for shits and giggles.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go with our foreigner who's not American, Mr. Barab. So what do you say? Was the FBI wrong? Is it confirmed that they were wrong? Is it debunked that they weren't wrong? Or is it in the middle somewhere where both of them wrong, Weaver and the FBI were wrong, or are you undecided? So, what is it?
It's such a tough question. No.
Okay.
No,
all right.
Given what we know about this, what you've explained, and I know probably the least about it compared to you guys. To me, it sounds like what would you call a festering pile of bullshit. So I'm gonna go with confirmed on this. Absolutely, yeah, hell yeah,
Okay.
hell yeah.
All right. There you go, Dale.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So Wookie, what do you think on this?
Yeah,
confirmed. Fuck them.
Not biased at all, is he?
Not at all. Not at all. He thought about that one long and hard. All right, Abby. All right, Abby. Are you undecided today?
I'm confirmed.
Confirmed. Okay.
It's confirmed.
All right. This might be the easiest one we've ever done. Anyway. So all right, I'm gonna check my chat.
And remember, boys and girls.
I was just checking my chat too.
And remember, boys and girls, I'm from the government, and I'm
Hold
here
on
to
one
help.
second.
Yes. Well, we got. I don't know what the hell happened on my poll.
All right.
But,
ending poll.
I got. I'm ending the poll too.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, I don't know what the hell
right.
these people were thinking.
I got 2 votes for confirmed over here.
Well, there you go.
Well, I have 5 total votes, 3 for confirmed, and 2 I could give a shit about.
No. What were they? What were they?
1 for debunked and 1 for undecided. And 3 for confirmed.
You got it debunked?
What the heck?
I don't know.
Can we find out who that is? Excommunicate him from the stream.
Where are you, Time Prophet? We know
it's Time Prophet.
It wasn't.
It had to be Time Prophet. Time Prophet's over there somewhere.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's this Gabi guy that's fucking with us.
Gabi fucking? Nah, he's asleep. He's actually probably asleep. It's
Fed.
Busy.
That's Frost the Comic says it's a Fed. We've got a Fed in our midst.
Yeah, probably.
Fed. They're all Feds in the chat.
Man, it's where is the Fed infested as the January 6th
no kidding,
insurrection.
Right?
There you go. We got more Feds than the January 6th insurrection. There you go. Anyway. All right. So it seems like we're pretty much universally, F the FBI and F the U.S. Marshals, in this situation.
No, you forgot ATF.
Nah. Well, ATF, F the ATF, definitely. A little bit more for Waco than Ruby Ridge, but they were up their eyeballs in it, definitely. I don't know what was going on in law enforcement at that time, but they were psychopathic. I mean, my God.
Oh, Wild West.
Not much change from now.
Well,
no.
Yeah.
They're just not being investigated now, is what it is.
Right. There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's if this happened today, it would definitely been Garland would have just been like, oh, nothing to see here. I don't know what the problem is here.
They were following the protocol. What?
Yeah.
All right.
Massacre everybody that was there.
All right. So I guess our conclusion is FBI, ATF, and U.S. Marshals are park whores.
Yes. Yeah, they were.
At least that 10 days they were. A little bit before.
Whoa.
All right. So
wait. Isn't that an insult to park horse?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those
sorry, ladies.
Park whores get run through the gutter too often. Poor darlings.
Yeah.
Sorry to every parkour that I've just insulted. All right. Apologize. Anyway.
So,
we can call them Fed whores.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, there
anyway.
you go. So,
right.
Bunny,
Mm-hmm.
next weekend, are we taking it off because of the holiday weekend? Or
it's
not?
entirely up to you guys. If you think you're going to be around for it.
I'm off all week, so
yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
All right.
Except Thanksgiving Day, I got to be at the in-laws.
Okay. How about we do? How about we do one on Krampus?
On what?
We're on Cryptids. Why don't we do one on Krampus?
Krampus.
Next week?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think I still have slideshows and crap on Krampus.
There you go.
Turducken.
Turducken. Yeah.
Or reality.
I don't know.
Definitely a myth. Definitely a myth.
No. There's a reported sighting by John Madden at a football game.
Yes. And jackalopes are real.
Yes, they are. They're elusive creatures.
Yeah, we're doing jackalopes, so anyway.
We'll talk about the turducken.
All right.
Krampus it is.
We'll do Krampus next week. Yeah, we'll
I don't know too much about the Krampus.
Huh? What?
It'll be a good time to learn. Good time to learn.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So we're gonna do Krampus next week. It's our cryptid week, so we'll do a Krampus. Then after that, maybe we'll do Waco.
Oh shit!
Waco.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Why not keep this going?
Keep it going. Come on. The trilogy. Got to do the trilogy.
All right. Then I guess the end of that trilogy would be Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right, so that's what we're gonna do next week. We're gonna do Krampus next week. Anyway,
right.
thank you all for coming.
Sweet.
Thank
you guys,
and,
everybody in the chat.
Yep, we'll see you next week. Same cryptid time, same conspiracy channel. All right.
See y'all later.
All right, thank you, Frost.
See you guys.
All right, bye everybody.
And support the parkour.
Yes.
Support the parkours. They're cold this time.
They're cold this time of year.
Yeah, support them. Yes. Anyway, yeah, support your local parkour. There you go.
He may be a Fed near you.
Right.
Make sure you get vaccinated beforehand.
There might be feds. Who knows? All right.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.
All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Good night.
Bye. Yeah, triple bag it.
Bye,
Triple bag it.
everybody.
Anyway.